Hey there, so today I'm actually headed to pick up a new kayak. And you heard that right, it's new. I really thought I was going to end up with a used kayak, but I got a smoking deal on a new one, and I'm taking you along with me. And it's wintertime, so might be a while before I get to use it, but you got to jump on these deals when you get a chance.
We gotta go big or go home. We're down to the gold. Never been a better time to put it all on the line. Ooh, yeah. Time to put it all on the line.
I gotta tell you, I really did not expect to. I just can't believe that I own a Hobie Outback at this point. Because, a few years ago I thought about getting a kayak. I'm like, I don't know, and the pedal drives were just so expensive at the time, and not that they're cheap, but man, I can't wait to get this out. That's the thing that sucks. It's winter time right now. Like it's sort of a mild day today. Hopefully we'll have a mild winter and I'll get out earlier, but it might be 2 months before I get it on the water. So I will say that I'm pleasantly pleased how well it fits in there. I thought it was going to hang out a lot more, but it actually fits in the bed pretty well. So I was able to tie it down to each corner using the hand straps here. And I really haven't even looked at it much, but I mean, this, oh wow, it's even got the tray. I didn't think that tray came with them. It's just, I tell you what, this is such an awesome kayak. So it's got your transducer control here. It's got your rudder, to raise and lower here. This is the rudder control. Ooh, so the rudder is not installed yet, but man, it's actually beautiful, and a little detail, so the top surface here feels sort of gritty, so it wouldn't be slippery, but the sides are really smooth. I've never felt that on any other kayak or canoe, that attention to detail where they really give you the nice surface up here, but then nice and smooth everywhere else. So you can see the bed of this truck. It's a 6-foot bed, and then basically once you extend out the tailgate, it takes it to 7'8". So it's got about 2/3 of the kayak supported. It feels really good. I mean, it's basically, I'm only moving the truck bed. So I think this is probably how I'm gonna transport it. Get a flag here for the end, but granted there were 2 of us, but it seemed to load pretty well. They didn't want me to record it in the shop or anything, because a lot of manufacturers, they don't let shops put prices in their videos or anything like that. So I definitely didn't want to do anything that impacted them in a potentially a negative way. But I will tell you that the price I paid for this, it was really close to my target price for a used one, honestly. And granted, it's previous year's model. They had a handful of models that I've looked at over the years, and a few that were in my video. So they had the Bonafide P127. They had the SS127, which was the kayak that I just dreamed of a few years ago. They also had Jackson Coosa. They had a Jackson Yupik, which is a nice, it's got a little bit more of an open deck, but it doesn't have the pedal drive. They had the Bonafide RS117. And they said that, some people don't have kayaks, or they've struggled to get kayaks. They have over 100 in stock right now, and they have a handful that are on a sale because they're last year's models. So River's Edge kayak, it's actually on the Kiskametis River, or the Kiski, which sounds to be an absolutely phenomenal fishery at this point. So I'm going to try to get up there a few times and hit it. But it was about an hour's drive, but it was well worth it. I can't wait to get out on this thing, but I can't believe that I now own a Hobie Outback. Yeah, it's just going to be an awesome year. So right now I am storing it in the commercial storage unit where I run my eBay business, and we'll figure out how to fit it into the garage at some point. And a couple other things. The Hobie Outback comes with a paddle, and so that was cool. Here's the seat, which needs to be put together, obviously because it's new, so it's sort of broken into the two pieces. Here's the Mirage Drive, which they did actually assemble for me, which was cool. Didn't seem like it took too much, but you know, they put the pedals in for me. I'll have to adjust it. But you can see here it's got the kick-up turbo fins, you know, so and I mean, you can tell it's like I mean, you know, they said it was new, and it literally is new. I mean, okay, so I've got the Kayak home, and today what I'm going to do is I want to get the rudder unpacked and adjusted and installed. I don't really know what's going on there, and I'll get some other stuff unpacked. We'll get the seat assembled. Before we do that, I want to show you about a stupid tax that I paid. I picked up the Kayak, got a great deal on it. Didn't quite have a place to put it yet. For now, I'm storing it on on the summer tires. Maybe eventually we'll get a hoist like we have for the canoe. But I decided I was going to throw it up on a rack in my warehouse, and I had some rollers, and my plan was I would put the rollers on top of the rack, then I would just roll the Kayak up on top of the rollers. And I looked at the manual. They recommended ideally you store it upside down with like the top down. So I said, okay, I'll do that. But I didn't think about the rollers actually fit between these rails, and so when I started rolling it up, when it got to this point, it collapsed down, and I actually bent one of these H-trails. And that's about a $50 repair for the whole thing. If I can just find the track, it'd probably be less. So a little bit of a stupid tax. At this point, we're going to start working on the rudder and sort of get everything ready so that when the weather gets warm enough, I can load it up and go take its initial run. We got instructions right here on the rudder. So basically it looks like there should be a screw, and it goes down through the center and holds the rudder in place. So let's see if we can find that screw. Oh. Yeah, the screw is right here on the top of this, so that's good. So it looks like it goes like that. Okay, so we have some rudder tuning as well, and it basically says locate the screws that clamp the rudder line, loosen the screws, pull the slack out. I feel like right now I have to put slack into it and get it put together like this. Where's that screw? Now that should basically have the rudder in place. Okay, and it turns, so that's good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, let's see if the kick-up rudder part works. That's good. Now we can move on to some seat. Outback small parts. See, it says Outback small parts. So these would be all of my little pieces that I need, I hope, to assemble the seat. These are actually all Guardian parts. These are not for the seat. Aha. There they are. They're on the bottom of the seat, which makes sense. I definitely don't want to tighten it up before I get the seat all aligned and everything. And then there's this little cord that keeps it from going anywhere, and that's that. That's pretty cool. That adjusts the how far back it sits, I guess. This is the lumbar support, which is all the way down, but it's pretty nice. This lever right here adjusts the up and down. You know, honestly, I thought it was going to be a lot more involved, but it goes together very quickly. Since paddling isn't going to be a major part of what I do in this kayak, you know, obviously I'll have to do some, but I'm probably just going to stick with the Hobie paddle for now. I expected the paddle to be just like a cheap metal or plastic paddle, but it's actually a carbon paddle. It's really not that heavy, so there may be no real reason to upgrade from it. And of course, it's got nice little cup holders on either side, which will be able to hold my Athletic Brewing non-alcoholic beers when I'm out on the water. Probably be on this side because I'm usually right-handed. And hopefully it doesn't happen, but if there is a little spillage, it looks like it'll drain right out. Again, if you want to give this a try, it's non-alcoholic. I'm really enjoying them, and there's a link in the description. If you buy 2 6-packs, I get one for free. So thank you. Now this handle is actually very comfortable to carry it by up on the bow, so that was nice. These straps for the hatch, very easy to operate one-handed. It's got a nice seal on here. It's a good bit of space down in there. So, you know, I'll basically try to carry stuff in there that's like dry bag or things that I'm not planning on needing on a regular basis while I'm out on the water. This is for when I get a fish finder. Transducer can pull up, sort of like the rudder. This is the rudder control, so you can pull it up for putting onto the bank or not. Now, I know that I said initially in my research video that like, yeah, I'm going to have a fish finder. You know, there's that almost no doubt about that, right? But I think for the first year, I'm probably going to keep it fairly simple, and I'm just going to fish it. I don't want to say bare bones because I'm definitely going to accessorize it, but I don't think I'm going to get a fish finder. And I want to get comfortable with the kayak. I want to see how much it changes my fishing, and then maybe the following year I'll go, you know, that'll be the big deal is putting a high end or at least a pretty nice fish finder on the kayak. But I think for this year I'm going to fish it the way it is. This was one of the features that I talked about in the review video. It's got these built-in leashes so that you can put different, you know, like pliers and stuff like that. They're built in right here, and so you don't have to worry about tying them down, and then they retract back. You can keep your pliers here. This H-track, basically it doubles as a gear track, and you can put the Hobie mounting brackets on it. Got these nice little rubberized pockets here to hold stuff. This is to mount. There's one on either side, but you can run your transducer wires for a fish finder right through here. These basically can hold your tackle boxes in place, and so you can pull them up and over, and they can hold your tackle box or whatever you have in here. It'll hold it in place. Again, it's just a really nice feature. This is actually so that when you have the pedals installed and you push one forward to put them up flat against the bottom, this actually just hooks on to the other pedal and holds them in place, so you don't have to keep your foot on it. I didn't think it came with this bucket, but mine did, and so that was pretty cool that it's got this bucket. If you pull the bucket out, there's even more space underneath here, so that was pretty nice. Got some reflective stickers for the bow, which I'll put on at some point. So, you know, you can keep your phone or something else in here if you want. I'll probably eventually have a leash on it for mine. The rudder controls on either side. I'll be interested to see, you know, in the videos that I saw, these look like they were really low, but now that I have them here, they're really easy to grab a hold of, and I think it probably is very well designed with this slope here to put your hand on it from either side, and it's nice and smooth here. It's rough texture on the top, but it's smooth here. So I think this is really nice. Carrying handles down here, rod holders, a couple in the back, couple in the front. Obviously the bungee cords in the back to hold crates or whatever. Same system back here, but it doesn't have the H track. Yeah, these little things right here, they basically hook onto the bungee cord and does it that way. This is already set up for a power pole mount, so basically you can just, these are little studs, and this little device is for loading, so it protects the rudder and everything, but basically you can pivot on this instead of on the bottom of your kayak. Look at this, 2 of my boxes fit on each side, and I could also do the same in the back. I'm like, am I even going to need a tackle bag? How awesome is this going to be? Normally I take 2 with me when I go out on the stream, plus some Ned rigs and stuff. So, you know, if I put like my soft plastics down in here, I could put 3 of these cases plus some of my terminal tackle with like Ned heads. I don't think I'm going to have to turn around much, maybe to change rods or something, but I think a lot of the times I'm going to have everything I need right up here in this front section. I mean, you know, with 2 on this side and then 2 on this side, basically, this thing is going to be awesome. I can't wait. And this part is mostly dumb luck, but there's a little bit of research involved before I build it, but this is the sort of the base of the GoPro stand that I made for when I went fishing with Ish. And so I'll be able to cut this down to whatever size I need and then be able to mount my GoPro up at the top. And so it fits, but it's not real tight, so we'll have to adjust that a little bit. But that'll be probably where one of the cameras is. So yeah, that's the new Hobie Outback. That's going to be a big part of my fishing season coming up. I'm thoroughly impressed. You know, a little aggravated that I dinged it up a little bit, but like I said, that was my stupid tax, and it's going to get scratched up anyway. So, you know, I hope to get it out, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 times this year. We'll see how we do that, and then, you know, who knows, maybe through the winter I get a dry suit and we just fish year round out of this thing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.